Picasso. Eminent music. When I get more money, me self go try champagne and I see you. When I get more money, me self go do the mego. Your money I see you. King Solomon, no fit do pass me. King Solomon, I go do pass you. I go try pass you. Spend my money, I go try when I do mathematics. You the day they speak big English. When I day I dey hustle my smart team. You the day they lose for sporty. When I get it, this my money. Make you know talk say na yahoo. When I get it, this my dough. Make you know talk say na juju. What you do? When I get more money, me self go try champagne and I see you. When I get more money, me self go do the mego. Your money I see you. King Solomon, no fit do pass me. King Solomon, I go do pass you. I go try pass you. Spend my money, I go try times two. As the pedal don't drop, as when I hit. If your memory full, I beg delete. Make you no go grill like Omonile. Make you dance and party like Pocolio. And you know say me, I know they like yawa. And you know say me, I know they like palava. Keep it on the low every hour. Even if I ball past Maradona. Anywhere money day, I dey day. Anywhere Sayo day, I go day. Oh. Anywhere Wahala day, I know day. Anywhere holiday, I go day. Oh. When I get more money, me self go try champagne and I see you. When I get more money, me self go do the mego. Your money I see you. King Solomon, no fit do pass me. King Solomon, I go do pass you. I go try pass you. Spend my money, I go try times two. When I get more money, me self go try champagne and I see you. When I get more money, me self go do the mego. Your money I see you. King Solomon, no fit do pass me. King Solomon, I go do pass you. I go try pass you. Spend my money, I go try times two.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's learning webinar. For today, we would start by going through the rules of engagement, which is pretty much what we all know already. Thereafter, we will dive right into the main session. And then after that, I will take your questions and as much as possible, try to provide appropriate responses to your questions. Then we'll close out with updates and announcements. So let's get right into it. So yeah, like I said, the rules of engagement is pretty much what we already know. For your questions, please feel free to post them on Slido. And if you have technical questions for us, do not hesitate to send them to us on AnswerBase. The chats function will be opened for other interactions with the tutor, myself, and very importantly, I would advise that we listen, learn, and share. So yeah, let's get right into it. For the purpose of this webinar, just to make sure we have an uninterrupted webinar session, I won't be turning on my camera. I hope you bear with me for that. Okay. So yeah, we have the QR code here for Slido. Feel free to scan it and send in your questions there. Alternatively, the link will be provided on the chat box now by Naomi, and you could also use that. All right, before we delve into the learning outcome, let's have a little bit of an icebreaker. So I have a question for you all. Please send in your responses to the chat box. So the question is this: would you rather be the funniest person or the smartest person in the room, and why? Like, let us know why you choose whatever it is or whichever it is you go with. So yeah, we'll do that for the next 1 minute plus. Okay. I think we have varying responses here. Some want to be the smartest in the room, some want to be the funniest. Interesting. All right, seems we have a lot of smarties in the room. Not sure who Musk Chappelle is, but my guess would be that he's a blend of both. Okay, so if you ask me, I think I would rather be both. Sometimes it's nice to be the smartest in the room, and other times it's nice to be the funniest in the room. But whichever your response is or whichever your choices are, they're pretty much aligned with what they're pretty much aligned with your personality, I guess. So yeah, let's get right into it. For today, it is my hope that it is my belief that at the end of this session, each and every one of you on this webinar would be able to identify the numerous use cases of AI that we have across the various industries, and also, be able to understand the best practices for deploying AI in production environments. And then lastly, you will be able to recognize some of those potential challenges that could, limit the application of AI in the real world. So yeah, we're gonna start with a very short video. Um, I'm just gonna play it now. It's less than 2 minutes. Let's enjoy it. So please confirm with me that you can hear the video or it's playing at your end on the chat box.
AI and machine learning can affect every part of society. For instance, self-driving cars use AI to recognize their surroundings, track objects, and make super important decisions, like when to stop. Machine learning is already being used in some really amazing things. It's allowing us to be more energy efficient. We use it to improve how we grow food and manage natural resources. It's dramatically changing how we diagnose diseases and create new medicines. It's even helping the blind see.
I think it's a man jumping in the air doing a trick on a skateboard.
But there are also risks. Consider the potential impact when machine learning is used to evaluate candidates for college admission, screen applicants for bank loans, or even predict crime or spot criminals. When using machine learning in these types of applications, we need to make sure not to use prejudiced training data that would perpetuate human bias.
As AI and machine learning change everything, it's important that you have a hand in how they're being used. More than any other technology, AI has the potential to revolutionize our lives for the better, so long as it's done in a way that avoids bias that could cause harm or inequity. The most important thing about machine learning is human learning. Knowing how this technology works is the first step on your journey to using it for good.
All right, so we have just seen how AI is being, deployed in our day-to-day activities. Now let's look at some specific use cases of AI in, some industries, right? While AI has been deployed to several industries, even more than what we have on the screen right now, our focus for today's webinar will be on these 5 industries: finance, healthcare, transportation, retail, and manufacturing. So yeah, for finance, AI has really played a huge role across so many of its operations. First, fraud detection. So with AI systems, financial institutions are able to analyze patterns and anomalies in data that could help them identify fraudulent transactions or fraudulent activities in real time. So basically, what AI does in that regard is to help these financial institutions to spot fraud in real time, and help them take necessary decisions to get rid of it or take necessary measures. On the other hand, it has also been used in predicting loan defaults. So using classification models, for example, financial institutions are able to analyze borrower data and also other financial information that could help them predict the likelihood of loan defaults. So what this does is that it assists these financial institutions in managing risk and also making informed lending decisions. So pretty much with this, they're able to know which of their clients or customers could potentially default on their loan and make informed decisions based on that. Then also we have the credit risk assessments. AI pretty much helps in analyzing historical data to assess the creditworthiness of loan applicants. Very similar to the previous point made, right? So while in the previous point our focus is on the potential of loan default, here with AI they could go a step further to analyze the credit risk of potential clients or customers. Besides that, AI algorithms have also been used to predict stock market patterns and trends that that helps in classifying stocks, whether to buy, sell, or hold, based on what historical market data and indicators point at. So basically, what we're saying here is that stakeholders in the financial institutions have been able to adopt AI to be able to predict stock patterns, right? That helps them make informed decision on whether to buy, sell, or hold their stocks. And then lastly, AI has also played a very significant role in customer support. So we know about AI chatbots and virtual assistants that pretty much help in handling customer inquiries and also could be used to provide financial advice. So yeah, these are some of the use cases of AI within the finance industry. Now let's take a look at how AI has been deployed in the healthcare industry. So yeah, in healthcare, in healthcare, AI has pretty much been adopted for disease diagnosis. So classification models, for example, are used in healthcare to analyze patient data in order to predict diseases, the presence or absence of diseases. Now, what this does is that it potentially aids doctors to diagnose and make treatment decisions ahead of time. Also, a major breakthrough that AI has brought about in the healthcare industry is medical imaging. So with AI, it has pretty much assisted radiologists in analyzing medical images of patients, medical images like X-rays as well as MRIs, to detect abnormalities and pretty much support early diagnosis of diseases like cancer. Now, beyond medical imaging, AI has also helped in disease prediction. So medical stakeholders are able to analyze patient data to predict disease, not just predict disease, but also the risk of having these diseases. And what this does is to enable them take preventive measures and also personalized treatments for the patients. And then on the other hand, drug discovery is another major use case of AI in healthcare. So what AI has done is to accelerate drug discovery by, simulating chemical interactions and also identifying potential compounds that, could be used for treatment. And then lastly, of course, not limiting it to just this 5. Another major breakthrough AI has AI has helped the healthcare industry achieve is genomic analysis. So with AI, healthcare practitioners are able to analyze genetic data that could help them identify disease risk and also personalize medicine based on the individual's genetic makeup or the individual genetic profile. So yeah, these are some, but not um, all of the improvements or advancement that AI has brought about in the healthcare industry. Now let's look at the transportation sector. One major breakthrough that AI has brought about in this sector is autonomous vehicles. And we pretty much touched on this in previous webinars on classification models, how, with classification models, self-driving cars are powered, because they're able to, classify objects like pedestrians, traffic lights, and what have you, which pretty much enable these autonomous vehicles to, navigate safely and also make informed decisions while on the road. Beyond AVs, AI has also helped in traffic management. AI systems pretty much help in analyzing traffic data to, optimize traffic flow as well as potentially reduce congestion on very busy roads. Then we have the logistics and supply chain aspect of it, where, it has been able to help optimize routes and schedules for delivery and shipping companies, which pretty much has improved their efficiency. And then we have ride hailing, the likes of Uber, Bolt, and what have you. Classification models have played a major role here. They've been used, they're being used to forecast demand for rides, especially in specific areas, in order to, improve the efficiency of these ride-hailing services. And then lastly, we have vehicle maintenance, a very important improvement AI has brought about in the transportation industry, right? So with AI, one is able to predict potential issues that, potential issues that your vehicles could have. And you're able to do this using sensor data. What this potentially does is to avoid breakdowns or unplanned or unforeseen breakdowns or disappointments to your vehicles. So yeah, it pretty much helps with vehicle maintenance. Now let's look at the role AI has played in the retail sector. So one major breakthrough AI has brought about in the retail sector is personalized recommendation. Personalized recommendations. So as much as there have been arguments on how ethical this is, but it pretty much has brought about some advancements in the retail sector, right? With AI algorithms, retail businesses are able to analyze customer preferences and then, and also their purchase history in order to provide their customers with personalized product recommendations rather than generic offerings. And then there's also inventory management, where AI has really played a role in, optimizing inventory levels. And it pretty much does this by predicting demand, demand, and also helping to suggest restock strategies that, these retail businesses could adopt in order to, while restocking, right? So with AI, retail businesses are better able to manage their inventory system thanks to its prediction capability. And then we look at another major advancement here, which is customer segmentation. So retail businesses are now using AI to group or categorize customers in order to, in order to embark on targeted marketing based on what their buying habits are. So what this means is that retail businesses are now able to put their different customers into clusters and then take on targeted marketing to be able to, really cross-sell or upsell them products based on the buying habits of the different clusters. And then we have price optimization, a major breakthrough also. AI pretty much helps in recommending prices that allows retail businesses to maximize their profits while staying competitive. And then lastly, there is the customer experience, which AI has brought about a lot of advancement or growth in that respect, right? So with AI chatbots, retail businesses are able to assist their customers with product inquiries, return cases, as well as other services. So yeah, that is it on the retail industry. And once again, use cases of AI within this industry are not limited to just these 5. There are many more, and we could always do further learning or further readings to find out other use cases. But let's look at manufacturing. So within the manufacturing industry, AI has played a major role in predictive maintenance, right? So with AI models, manufacturers are able to analyze using sensor data to predict equipment failures and also schedule maintenance of their equipment or machineries, right? And then there is the very big point here, quality control. So thanks to AI-powered image recognition, manufacturers are able to identify defects in manufactured products and then take informed decision based on that. Then there is the anomaly detection, right? Very similar to the previous point, right? AI has been able to help manufacturers identify unusual data patterns that might indicate operational process deviation or operational failures, right? So with AI, manufacturers or stakeholders within the manufacturing industry can pretty much detect abnormalities that are in their operational patterns. Then we have robotics, right? AI-powered robots. We, of course, know about the existence of AI-powered robots that pretty much help in performing some of these repetitive tasks that are very common within the manufacturing industry, right? Tasks on production lines and also, helping in improving precision and speed. And then lastly, we have product classification. So with the use of AI, most manufacturers have been able to automate their product sorting based on features like size or type, and pretty much classification model comes into play here, right? These manufacturers are able to sort their different products based on some of these features already mentioned. So yeah, these are some of very practical use cases of AI across about 5 different industries or sectors. And let's now go on to see some of the best practices when deploying AI. So yeah, the first thing you want to do is to, ensure a very reliable data pipeline management, right? Pretty much ensure a reliable flow of data for continuous model performance and maintenance. And then you also want to regularly monitor and evaluate your model performance, right? To be able to identify potential performance degradation. Another best practice would be, version control and explainability. So basically you want to, at every point, be able to maintain a clear versioning of models and, continuously improve your model interpretability for better decision making. And then lastly, security and infrastructure considerations, very, very important, very, very important practice in deploying AI. So basically, you want to be able to, at every point, address any security concerns around data privacy, and also ensure that the infrastructure being used can handle the level of production or the load of production. All right, cool. So having said that, let's look at some of the limitations of AI. Some persons may argue that there are no limitations, right? Some persons are of the opinion that AI is limitless. AI can do pretty much anything you can think of. And but then indeed there are some limitations, and the first of it is governance. So there's this need for a clear cut out guideline and oversight to ensure that responsible AI development and use is being practiced. And I think a lot of industry players have highlighted this major challenge, right? We have seen a lot of abuse or unethical use of AI, right? And so it's very important that concerns including data privacy, bias mitigation, and also ethical decision making using AI models are really taken into consideration and catered to. Then we also have trust, the issue of trust, right? So it is very important to really have an efficient AI recommendation system. It is very important. Trust is a very important element, right? And a lot of businesses that adopt or that champion the cause of AI really needs to address some of these concerns around transparency and explainability of their models. Some AI models out there are way too complex, and no one really knows what's happening, or how how its operations are. Then we also have the financial constraints, right? It's pretty much not a walk in the park to implement AI solutions. They can be very, very expensive. Costs like data infrastructure costs, hardware and software license costs, and also the required skilled personnel costs to really deploy AI could be a limitation. Not could be, is actually a limitation in some instances. And then another major limitation would be legacy systems. So this pretty much speaks to the fact that some of the existing IT infrastructure of some major players in the across the different industries might not be entirely compatible with AI integration. A lot of, especially the traditional players or the brick and mortar industry players, their IT systems or infrastructure may not be readily available to integrate with AI, and that could potentially be a limiting factor in adopting AI within these institutions. And so there's that need to upgrade or take on very complex data integration efforts. So yeah, the next major concern or limitation of AI would be its explainability and transparency. And I think I already touched on this a little bit earlier on. So there is that need to understand how very complex AI models arrive at their decisions. And it can be very challenging to actually do this, right? So this lack of transparency pretty much hinders trust and adoption of AI, especially within industries that are very, very regulated. So yeah, these are some of the limitations that these are some of the limitations that have prevented or held back rapid adoption of AI across the different industries. All right, so before we go on, I would just want to share with you some very interesting AI statistics. right? So to better understand how businesses use AI, Forbes advisor kind of like surveyed 600 business owners. They did this. They did this to have an idea of how businesses are, using AI in their respective operations. And what did and they surveyed 600 businesses that pretty much either plan on incorporating AI or already have incorporated AI. And yeah, some of the results are what we see here. So about over half of business owners use artificial intelligence for cybersecurity and fraud management, right? And then their results also show that 1 in 4 business owners are pretty much concerned about how AI affects their web traffic. Also, about 97% of business owners believe that ChatGPT or generally generative AI will, help their businesses. And then 1 in 3 of these business owners indeed plan to use ChatGPT or generative AI to write their website content. And then it also showed that 64%, about 64% of business owners believe that AI will indeed help improve their customer relations. And then another 46% are already intend to use AI for internal communications. So we see here a chart that shows the top 10 use cases of AI by the different business owners that we are surveyed. And we can see that at the top of it, we have customer service as the most prominent use case of AI among business owners. And I mean, we see that very, very often in on the website of a lot of businesses that, whose website we visit. We see that almost quite a lot of them have that element of a chatbot that provides customer support or customer service support to anyone visiting their website. Following customer services, cybersecurity and fraud management, then we have digital, excuse me, we have digital personnel, and then a lot more other use cases, as you can see on the chart. So yeah, before I round up, I would leave with this quote from Stephen Hawking, and it's a very, very controversial one. So he says AI could, potentially be the biggest event in the history of human civilization, but then it could also be the last event, right? Unless we learn how to avoid the risk. And we have a lot of big players in the industry also, lending their voice to the same issue. The likes of Elon Musk. So while Stephen Hawking pretty much highlights, the need for a more cautious perspective or approach towards AI, emphasizing that the potential risk associated with very highly advanced AI. Elon Musk, on the other hand, also believes that if oversight or necessary oversight or regulation isn't introduced to regulate AI, then it could potentially be harmful in the long run. Of course, everyone has their opinions on potential risk of AI, but I think the general consensus across board is that it has its risk, as much as it is potentially the biggest technological advancements in the history of mankind. It could as well be the end of mankind, and except serious regulation and oversight is put in place to mitigate some of those potential risks that comes with it. So yeah, I'll leave you all with this quote for today. And then we can send in our, or rather we can take our questions now. All right, I'm just gonna start with the questions on the Q&A here. Oh, apologies about that. The screen being covered. Probably the icon tray here. All right. The other question, in very sensitive industries such as healthcare, would the data scientist also need to have a medical background? That's quite interesting. I mean, I think domain expertise is required of anyone working in any specific domain. And while you may not necessarily need a medical background or medical degree to function as a data scientist within the healthcare industry, I think you would definitely need the domain expertise or domain knowledge, because as a data scientist in the healthcare sector, most of your work um, would revolve around medical data, patient data, and so a good knowledge or a reasonable, significant knowledge of some of these domain terms and principles or concepts will definitely be needed. I hope that answers your question. I would go over to Slido now to take more questions. Okay, the first question here, working on a project to detect houses and classify them by roof types, I would appreciate guidance on a general approach or any good sources or tutorials. Okay. So I think what we can do is to point you at, perhaps you want to shoot this to us on answer base, or so we could curate and point you at some resources that you could find useful for this. Quite an interesting project here, and I really hope you make the best of it. Okay, okay. I see the other question has also been responded to. All right. More questions here on Zoom. How can data scientists apply knowledge in the energy sector like electricity generation and transmission? So I think the best way to apply knowledge would be to work in such domains, right? Because data science, as much as the knowledge is cuts across, its application is domain specific. So if you want to be able to apply your knowledge within a specific industry, then your best bet would be to either work on projects within that industry or get work experience within that industry as a data scientist. I think that would be the best way to go about that. I'm a medical doctor studying data science, but can't seem to get internships or other programs to practice, as requirements are mostly computer science or IT graduation. Is there any site organization you would recommend? While none comes to mind right now, but I think what you can do is to tailor your resume to reflect your expertise as a data scientist. So I know most organizations these days are not so fixated on academic background. I think quite a number of organizations looking out for certifications that really reflect the skill set and expertise of of potential employees. So maybe what you want to do is to really tailor your CV to reflect your expertise as a data scientist. And then also, if you have any prior work experiences or projects in that regard, you could also reflect that in your resume. Yeah. So no, I do not think you necessarily have to have a computer science or IT background or degree to be able to land. Yeah, it may not be easy, but I think if you pretty much showcase your expertise and your project, you should be able to eventually land an internship. Will you give us a transcript? A transcript of the webinar? While I'm not entirely sure if the recorded webinar comes with a transcript, but I perhaps it's something that can be fixed or something that can be looked into. No guarantees there, but if it's possible, we will.
Maybe just to add to that very quickly, it might also be academic transcripts, I think that they might be referring to. If that is the case, that you're looking for an academic transcript, we are working with our development team to give you, the student, the ability to download the transcript from your profile page. So it might not be ready now, but we're hoping that closer to the end of the course, that there will be that ability to access your transcripts for the usage to share with potential employees and so forth.
All right, thank you, Damien, for that. So I see a really funny question here. On Slido, could the Skynet of the Terminator or other sci-fi movies be realized? Could he ever be self-aware? If you ask me, I'd say you never know. AI could potentially do anything in the future. So yeah, you never know. That will be my response to that. All right, so if there aren't any other questions, new questions. Okay, yeah, I think Damien already just addressed this. I have not been able to access my answer base till date. Can you notify the ALX ops team in the room rather? I would have said you shoot us a question and answer base, but obviously you're not able to access it. So maybe send a message through the ALX room, and then we can pick it up from there and see exactly why. And I can see some other person has the same challenge. All right, please send a message via the ALX room, and we should take it from there. All right, John, go ahead, please.
Yeah, thank you so much, Obasinechi, and hi guys, how are you doing? I know it's been a while. So to address that, Michael, I'll suggest you submit a ticket to support, right? Through Zendex, just submit a ticket through Zendex, and then the team will just work on that, and it should have access to answer base as soon as possible. Yeah, so before I share the announcement, I don't know if a lot of you are interested in finances, but whenever I come across the issue about finances, my mind keeps going over and over again. And I was told of how AI could predict the total loan amount and repayment processes I could possibly pay afterwards. I don't know if anyone is interested in coming up with a model that can resolve that for me. That would be great. Also. And on that note, let me quickly run us through announcement and updates for today. So as you all know, this week we are working on the image classification code challenge, and this is due on Monday. So please take note, and if you are behind, please work as fast as you can and make sure you get through it successfully. And the good part of it is that once the deadline is passed, you still have a few opportunities, right? That is, once the deadline is passed, you only have 3 supplementary opportunities for that, right? So we still have a few trials. So try hands-on and try and make the grade show or get a better grade or get a passing grade that is required for the code challenge. And as we promised, we are still migrating the content of the foundations and specializations to Athena. And currently, the team has confirmed that that is still being worked on, and you should have access to those content in a few days, right? So hopefully you have great updates for you coming in our newsletter or in our Monday emails. So please take note and keep that in mind. On that note, we'll be having our webinar watch party come this Saturday, 5 p.m. GMT. So try and catch up with your learnings on the webinar watch party. And on next week webinars, we have some amazing webinars coming your way on Tuesday and Thursday. You wouldn't want to miss what's coming your way. So book a date, schedule session in your schedules and join us for our webinars for next week during Tuesday and Thursday at 12:30 p.m. GMT. Now, on our support channels, as usual, we saw a question on AnswerBase, and we advise you drop that question on, on Slido. So we advise you drop that question on AnswerBase, right? So kindly drop that question on AnswerBase, and the team will respond to you accordingly and share the needed details and information you require. And also, you can also reach us on LIA and also on Zendex. Just drop in your questions and try and find out how our support system has been improved with AI modeling, right? Who knows, maybe you may come up with a few ideas on how we can also improve our support systems like LIA and then our Zendex team. So try working on them or try to post a few questions on there and compare the responses, and let's see how that goes for you. Great. And as usual, we are always available on the ALX Fellowship portal, right? So in your group, in your spaces, in your squads, just drop a question, drop a message. Let's say hi, let's say hello to each other, and let's keep building the community and network with one another. Well, on that note, we've come to the end of our webinar for today, and also wishing you guys a wonderful day ahead and a good day come tomorrow, and see you all next week. So take good care of yourself and try and complete your assignment on time. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye for now.
Modernization, chicken for money pressure, street orientation. Modernization, for money pressure. Cover face like Nagbaja. Get feel but we know they cup. Sit up, boss them, tap, tap, tap. Pass all the shit, rababa. Omo ijo, rababa. Feeling good, banana. Music don't need permission to enter your spirit. Anyway, anyhow, you know, say you go feel me. Music don't need permission to enter your spirit. Yeah, yeah. Anyway, anyhow, you know, say you go feel me. I live in like no other.